Yes, yes.
Okay. For when he looked at me, his pupils were old and dull and glazed over with cataracts. Fascinating story, your marriage. How many wonders there are in this creation. Tell me more about your adventures. That was all the encouragement I needed. I described my beloved Ram to him in great detail, and his loyal brother Lakshman also. I explained about Kaikeyi and the boons she had been able to claim because men from the house of Raghu never went back on their promise. I described our 13 years of difficult wandering and listened with some satisfaction to his words of sympathy and his praise because he thought I had been such a good wife and put up with so much. Finally, I told him of the golden deer and confessed, a little shamefacedly, how I had fought with my husband and forced him to go after it. I even voiced my fear that it might be a wicked Rakshasa in disguise. It might, indeed, the sage said, and a strange look akin to sorrow passed over his face. In which case, it would have led your husband far into the wilderness, for Rakshasas are willy creatures. That's too bad, for I would have loved to meet your illustrious husband. Such a brave warrior, a veritable scourge, evil Rakshasas everywhere. But I can't delay any longer. There's a holy cave some distance from here, and I must reach it before nightfall. Please rest a while in the shade of our porch, I entreated. Ram and Lakshman will be back soon. Lakshman will bring you fresh fruits. Ram will fetch water to wash your feet. I will gather the wild rice which grows by the river and cook it for you, along with the vegetables from my garden. I am a fast cook. There will still be plenty of time for you to reach your cave. But the sadhu shook his head. My vows of monkhood will not allow that. Already I have spent too long with you, a woman and a householder, and I am afraid this has reduced my merits. I am not supposed to even step onto the shadow of a house, let alone take comfort on its porch. If you wish to give me alms, you may give them now, but I can only accept them from where I am standing.
Rekha, do we so basically, what's our idea of sharing the book? Like something we had thought,
Yeah. For me, the idea of sharing was she talks about, of course, the author I liked because she talks whole lot of what goes on within when certain things are happening ab- from the character's viewpoint. And somewhere I wanted to relate it to how we get carried away by emotions and take decisions, talk, all things mess up, and then after it happens, we realize that, right? Oh, I could have handled this in a much different way. I could have handled this. That is what was my intention to, because the after this page at the end, she talks about Dashrath, and only then she understands why Dashrath took such decisions, whatever he took. She was able to relate to Dashrath on that day.
So we'll read till the end of this page and then we can discuss, right?
हाँ शायद नेक्स्ट पेज में आएगा वो दशरथ का ये
हाँ, so let's read
half of
those
it.
2 pages and after that we can discuss.
Yeah.
Sure.
It would be a great shame if a holy man left our home, makeshift though it was, empty-handed. I ran inside and gathered in the pallu of my sari whatever food I had, just a few fruits, unfortunately. But when I came out, I realized that the sage stood too far away for me to reach him without crossing the boundary. Lakshman had created for me. I didn't quite believe that staying inside the line would keep me from all harm, but having spoken so many cruel words to Lakshman, I didn't want to further upset him by disregarding his dictum. Please come a little closer, Sage, I said, a little embarrassedly, pointing to the line. I am not supposed to cross this Rekha. Even as I spoke, it seemed a silly thing to say. The sadhu drew himself up. I could feel indignation rising from him, shimmering like heat waves on a summer day. His face grew dark with anger. I resigned myself to a tongue lashing. Why was it that only our holy men who made a big deal of giving up so many things, comfort, fame, family, couldn't seem to give up their tempers? Are you trying to tempt me, woman? He cried. Are you trying to lure me near you so that I will break my vows? Didn't I just tell you I do not set foot in the compounds of a householder? Forget about your arms. I don't want them. One more day of going hungry will not kill me. But I must say, this isn't the kind of hospitality I expected from the house of Raghu or from the daughter of Janak and Sunaina. His words sent my mind spinning. Living with Ram, I had taken on some of his sensitivities. I knew how mortified he would be if he learned that a sadhu had left our home complaining that he was disappointed by Raghu hospitality. But worse, by calling cleverly on my father and mother, he had made me feel personally guilty. How did he even know their names? I hadn't told him anything about them. Clearly, the sage had occult powers. It had been a prime rule in my parents' palace that no one, holy mendicant or common beggar, went away hungry. My mother had impressed upon me that it was our duty as householders to take care of the guests that landed at our door, invited or otherwise. By failing in that duty, might I bring a new spate of bad luck down on us. Holy men often Holy men often possessed strange siddhis. Might his ill will obstruct our safe return to Ayodhya, to Ram's long-standing coronation? I swayed between two choices, breaking my illogical promise to Lakshman or failing in my duty to my guests, or who was additionally a holy man. Which was worse? What would Ram have wanted me to do? At this moment, the face that rose in my mind strangely was that of my father-in-law. For the first time, I felt a deep sympathy for King Dasharath and the opinion and the options he had been faced with, far more difficult than mine, complicated further by the bonds of love, to break his word to his favorite wife or to unfairly banish his dearest son. There are no easy answers, Dasharath's voice said inside my head, especially when we want to please the one we love. That same love clouds our eyes and doesn't allow us to see what's right in front of us. There was no more time to debate the issue. The sadhu had stormed off towards the same thicket where, seemingly a lifetime ago, the golden deer had vanished. Stop, sage, I cried. I am coming.
Little we can read this also. As soon as I stop over
This
like
one?
step.
Okay. As soon as I stepped over Lakshman's Rekha, I knew I had made a huge mistake. It wasn't only because of the pain that went through me, as though 1,000 thorns had pricked me at once. It was also the sage. One moment he was half hidden in the forest foliage, and the next he was beside me. I didn't understand how he could move so fast. In fact, I hadn't seen him move at all. He had my arm in a hot, grip, and was twisting it so that the pain ran up all the way to my neck like a wave of fire. His face had changed, the gaunt mendicant features transformed into a handsome, proud, and triumphant visage. There was a crown on his head, gold woven robes covered him, and the jewels of his ears and on his arms that in his and the jewels in his ears and on his arms dazzled me. Even as I stared at him in horrified disbelief, I understood that everything I had seen before was a glamour spell, Rakshasa glamour.
Rekha, this book can be taken from Amazon, right? Ordered.
Yeah, you can order it, but I guess we'll have to talk to your mom because there are a few. I don't know how Namrata would be open to letting you read this.
Okay.
That's why I selected those that chapter, that part where it can be read with everyone.
But Ansh, if you're interested in reading Ramayana, there are many books which are made for age appropriate with
Age
lot of
appropriate.
beautiful illustrations and all. Because even Dhwani reads those books, so maybe you can look for such books. You will
Yeah.
get some interesting ones.
Okay.
This is the Forest of Enchantments.
This is the Forest of Enchantments.
When you said I got it from library, I started reading. This was on my list from a very long time.
Somehow,
Thanks to you for introducing this author to me.
She's amazing author, na?
Yeah.
Read her other books also. Some are really good.
एक पूरा सेट है कुछ 839 का
Same author.
हाँ, Chitra
Chitra
Banerjee
Banerjee, Dev Kumar.
का there are 4-5 books in one set, I think.
Chitra Banerjee, Dev Karuni, na?
हाँ,
Diva
Essential
Karuni.
Collection.
Diva Karuni. She's
अच्छा, it has 3 books, 4 books.
so she has
The
something. We met the
East Queen.
goddess before spices.
In this set, it has the East Queen and the Forest of Enchantment and Chitra Independence.
Even her spices also. The movie was made on it. Remember Aishwarya Rai's one movie was there? Something Garam, some name. I'm forgetting the name of that. The book. It's based on Chitra Banerjee's book only.
Oh.
Yes, it's all about a lady who owns a store in a foreign country, and that store only sells the Indian spices.
Okay.
So yeah, she tells, so whoever comes to her store, she tells the story of those spices. And then she, the way she explains the story of each spices is so beautiful. More than watching a movie, book of course is always so descriptive and it gives you, but Aishwarya Rai has really done a very good work in that. Though I didn't like the movie, I liked the book better. So it's years back.
The Mistress of Spices.
Yes, the Mistress of Spices.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, movie, they want to cut it down, right?
Yeah,
A lot of details, they cut it down.
So what is the purpose of, Rekha, you shared this page. What's in your mind when you read as a reader?
For me, the main this thing is how emotions take away our thought process, right? It takes over our thought process. That rational thinking is necessary, especially when you're having a conversation or handling a situation, all that. But when emotions come into play, the rationality flies out of the window. And yes, there are few decisions that we take, and then we regret those decisions. And maybe as she understood Dasharath on that day, right, she could relate to Dasharath's discomfort of choosing.
So basically, I think even in Mahabharat, also Draupadi has been shown like a lady who is very discomforted with all the family members and stuff, wherein they always make some things, talk something which it is discomforting to her. Like whatever, like they just gave her in a play or something. Same way, I think in Ramayan, Sita has this thing ki, why all the time the family members have to take such decisions which are maybe very not suited for the other members. So maybe that relation can be brought in. Just thinking.
Yeah, I also it could relate. See, I don't know if it is because of the woman author that she describes all this in detail, because I can relate to both the books that I read about this author. At least I could relate
Both
to
means
the Palace of Illusions by Chitra,
usme
same author.
who has he
So
covered? She.
उसमें it is about Draupadi, as you are
Draupadi.
explaining
Oh,
about Draupadi.
Mahabharat story through Draupadi's perspective.
Draupadi's eyes.
okay.
So the same discomfort she also goes through. Here also the same discomfort. The at least the heroine of the story goes through.
I have two things, yes, I what like you both are saying, like first what Rekha said, sometime in spur of a emotion, we take certain decisions and sometime it turns out to be good, sometime it turns out something different and we regret or whatever later. But I don't know, I really feel at that moment, whatever looks right to us with our wisdom, we take those decisions. Whether it's emotional, practical, logical, illogical, rational, irrational, whatever it is. Because it in that bracket of analysis, it comes when we are out of that situation. When we look back
Yeah.
and then we see when we have experienced or either faced the consequence, good, bad, whatever it is, because every decision or every present is depends on our past decisions. Whatever we decided, whatever we did, what actions we did, it's a result, we are getting it now. So I felt yes, there are times we do feel, I wish I would have not done this, I wish this would have been not like this. But then again, it is like, in that moment, whatever felt good, we do that with our whatever little knowledge, understanding, or whatever it is. Second is like, I want to say, like, sometime, it also depends, because for me also Ramayana, for me more is Mahabharat, which I connect more with the Mahabharat story in many, many ways. More than a Mahabharat, I would say the lessons of Gita, what Mahabharat gives, like each lesson has its answers to many, many questions of your life if you really go deeper into it. Ramayana has never fascinated me, and I've always questioned this, that how can a husband really, really, not trust his wife, and same wife, for her, he fought a battle. He traveled, he crossed the forest and he fought a battle to bring her back. And just because somebody is saying something, and he's just leaving her, he just asks us to leave like that. So as a woman, I really felt, maybe this generation woman or whatever, the liberated woman and whatever you want to call it. But then again, as what Preeti is saying right now here, as a family, sometimes people take this decision, they don't think about the others. I feel it's also goes with the kind of a family bracket Ram was into it. He was not a common man in Ramayana. He belongs to a family or a lineage where for them the vachan or the vows or the promise is bigger than anything. It's bigger than the emotions or anything about it. So when you really understand, because there's a book, Sita, another written by Devdutt Patnaik. When I was reading that book, Nalini has given me, I have to pass it on to Preeti. Thanks, it's a good reminder for me that I have to pass it on to you. Yes, yes, to you, yes. So in that book, it's beautifully, she
No,
says,
I'm saying it's a reminder for me also. I'm like ready
yeah,
with the books, but I have to post it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
and I also have to do that. List
yeah,
there, but
yeah,
I haven't done that.
done that. So no, this books, that book, in that book, how he describes Sita. Sita says that Ram coming on this earth, or me coming on this earth, I'm not an ordinary woman, or Ram is not an ordinary man. We both have come for some purpose, and I am the goddess, she says in that book. Very beautifully, she explains, where somebody is asking her this. I think Lakshman asked her this question: aren't you angry with Ram the way? Because Lakshman, when he goes to leave her back in the forest after they come back from this whatever 14 years ka vanvas and all that, so she says that I am the goddess, no one can abandon me. Neither Ram can abandon me. Though he's playing a role of my husband in this Janma, but he is here for a purpose and I'm here for a purpose. So we both are just fulfilling our purpose of life. I'm getting jitters, really, when I'm saying this. But as a woman in this present time, when you really think, you start questioning all this. What, yaar? Big things, fine. But if you see, they are not a common man or a woman like us. They've come for some, reason on this earth. So that's what, I don't know, this is my take on this Ramayana. I'm still understanding Ramayana.
Yeah, you haven't read this book fully
No,
yet,
I've just started.
okay,
I
okay,
have
read
read.
it, read
Yeah,
it,
that's
and
what.
then maybe
That's
we can talk about it, because the
yes.
last chapter you will really love it.
Yeah, same
Great
like
she has
Palace of
explained.
Illusion. Last
Yes,
chapter
yes, yes,
is really, it will shake you to the core.
yes, yes.
Because I have read Mahabharat in many forms by many authors. Like as you're talking about a woman author and a male author, I read Bhairappa's Parva also. Parva also is amazing book, which is it's 1,000-page book. It took me months
It's
to
a
read
huge
that
book.
book.
Yes.
It's a huge book. It took me months. It's almost like a big, huge, granth which you are reading. But in that book, he has definitely taken a liberty of creativity, but he has done amazing work. He has brought all these characters of Mahabharat in a form of a common man and a woman. No one is a god there, no one is with eternal power or something. And very beautifully, he has described Draupadi as a household woman. So a lot of people ask me this question, ki, how you feel the female author can write or describe the woman emotion better or a male. I think author is author. Author is author.
How deeply they are connected to themselves is what
Yes.
comes out in their writings.
Yes. And for them it's a character.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Parva is, oh God, that was like, I think I remember it took me some 4 months or 5 months to finish that book. It was great. And this man must have given so much research and effort in writing that book. It's amazing. Preeti, say something. Only me and Rekha talking. I'm the
I
one.
was thinking, in Ramayan, I think I am only till that phase where that Lanka ka thing happens, like the fight happens. That's it. Uske baad ka Ramayan is not very like I'm not very open to it, or I have not internalized or heard it well. After whatever is the story, she goes in exile, Sita goes in exile, and she has the sons and all of it, and then so वो इतना मेरा बहुत memory उसकी sharp नहीं है. So and that is maybe one reason because for which I like Ramayan more than Mahabharata. In Mahabharata, I feel it's all about just fighting, whereas in Ramayan, it's so much of pleasantness, and there's so much of like honest people, nice people, and just living nicely, following things and like that. So I don't know. I am more drawn to Ramayana a lot. Like, and I connect with its characters more because maybe it is more because there are lesser number of characters and it's more simple than Mahabharata. Mahabharata is little
But it's
complicated.
too complicated.
Yeah.
Mahabharat, na? There's
Yeah.
so
Kahan se
many
kahan
characters,
connection.
yeah. But
Yeah.
it's beautiful. I don't know. I really love Mahabharat. Even I read one book long back, where the Mahabharata, I'm forgetting the name of the author. The book is called Duryodhana. So it was a Duryodhana's perspective of Mahabharata. That how the evil is misunderstood many times. If you really, really get into Mahabharata and see the kind of rights even Duryodhana was deprived. You know, once I remember Dhwani questioned this thing because she used to read Amar Chitra Katha a lot, specifically Mahabharata and all. And in Amar Chitra Katha, it's not just only Mahabharata.
Stop sharing the screen. तो फिर थोड़ा अच्छे से
हाँ. Yeah. So Amar Chitra Katha has this very again interesting thing. They'll give you a book which is on Mahabharat, whole story of Mahabharat, and then different characters, separate comic telling their version of Mahabharat and all. So Dhwani got fascinated to those books, and along with us, sometime I used to read those books and all. So one comic, what she got it, which was specifically only on this Dhritarashtra, the blind brother. So she comes and she asks me, she says, why simply he was deprived to be a king? Only just because he was visually disabled, but he has all other qualities. Why that was not considered? Maybe he could have been a king and his brother could have supported him, and he had such a big army, and Bhishma, the strong personality, Bhishma was there to take care of the kingdom also. He was a wise man in his own ways. So you know, that is also like how they really, so it's, if you really look into other characters also, different angles of all the characters in Mahabharata, it's again very beautiful. Yes, I agree, it's about lot of jealousy, lot of fight and all, but what is the source of those jealousies? Why this in this family these things are coming up? Why the root cause is not being you know, from where this is all coming? That's what I really like in that way, the Mahabharat story. What is the reason this person must be behaving in this manner? I don't know, as a counselor cap, maybe. Rekha.
Yeah, that is what I liked about Chitra's till I read this, right? I had a very similar relationship with Ramayana. Here, what is this stupidity kind of a? But after reading this, oh yeah, there is a different way of thought process. As you told, Sita describes herself as the goddess. So no one can abandon me, kind of a. Very similarly, she takes it through, the author takes it through this book also. And I'm pretty sure you would love the last chapter of it.
I'm looking forward, really looking forward. Just started 2 days back. Just got it from library and just started now. Interesting. I think we should sometime talk about Mahabharata also. That's my favorite topic. I can talk endless on that topic.
Next
Characters, you know.
month is Mahabharata, na?
Ha,
The lessons from Gita.
Let's
Mm.
You're also reading some book now on that, I remember.
Wait, no, that's
Gita.
by the way.
Yeah.
This
Yes, Kirtika,
lady.
you missed, but you can still contribute. You're
I'm
talking
just
about
listening. Yeah. Yeah, even I'm a big fan of Mahabharat. Ramayan, I am not well so much into. But Mahabharat is quite interesting in terms of how similar it is across ages. Like, only our surroundings have changed. We've become a bit more like, the template has changed, but the core foundation is still the same in all human beings. Yeah. So, in that sense, I like Mahabharat.
Even in Ramayana, I read a book by Kavita K. Kane, something the author is. She has written the story of Urmila from Ramayana, the Lakshmana's wife. She is a forgotten heroine in that, like forgotten character in Ramayana, where she gets this blessing from the Nidra goddess, because Lakshman takes this vow that he will not sleep for 14 years because he has to take care of Ram and Sita. He has to protect them like they guard them. So Nidra goddess come to him in the night, first night of their Vanvas. She comes and he says, "Don't come to me. I don't want to sleep because I have to guard my brother and my sister-in-law." So she said, "I can't. This is the natural cycle. You cannot deny me. You cannot say no to me. You have to sleep." So he said, "Do one thing. Go to my wife, who is my better half. Make her sleep." So Urmila used to sleep whole day, whole
Whole
night
day,
for
whole
14
night.
years.
14 years, yeah. Same, she has explained.
Yes. She sleeps there and then her memory remains the same. The day she slept and after 14 years with Lakshmana and Rama, they come back and she wakes up and her memory is that much only. She doesn't remember anything of 14 years. It's just the day when they left. So in that book, she describes everyone has forgotten that character. She didn't question Lakshmana, "Why are you leaving me? I am your wife. You have a responsibility. Just for your love and devotion to your brother and your sister-in-law. What about me?" So I feel what Preeti said now, how the family sometimes members, so it also depends the kind of a family you're part of, the bigger responsibilities that family plays or has.
And the dynamics of the family also does play a role in how things shape up, right?
Correct. Wow. I don't know whether is it really possible in this time or not. I don't know really. As Kirtika says that, Mahabharat is like, present situation also. We are somewhere there, though the situations, the things have changed.
I have watched Sadhguru's series of Mahabharat. Then the Mahabharat that I was introduced to, of course.
ये वो कहाँ है?
Ram-
Watch कैसे कर सकते हो? Sadhguru
मतलब
has a
you-
podcast on.
Yeah, you have YouTube videos also, few of them.
Really?
Because he had conducted Mahabharat ka series ka some sessions were conducted in which they had enacted the story as he was telling it out, right? There was a dance drama that was being enacted along with that.
Is there on YouTube?
It's
What-
there on YouTube.
What is it called?
महाभारत करके ही है रे. Wait.
सतगुरु का नाम होगा ना?
Sadhguru's in his YouTube ये itself channel itself it's there महाभारत करके series है.
Yeah, got it. Full
Hmm.
episode.
Yeah, it's nice to watch along with the dance drama that they play.
That's what they say, na Ram Raj. When will Satyug, which is like long forgotten. I don't know
It
whether
will come.
it's a cycle, definitely.
So
Never
much
know.
we are talking about spirituality now.
Spirituality, somewhere the energy will attract us or will get attracted to us. Interesting. Oh, thanks for really bringing this author back in my life. Yeah, I was really missing her. She's like,
Thanks to you too. Otherwise, I wouldn't have ventured into fiction. I used to venture, but again, it used to be related to spirituality. The Dan Millman ka series I have read. I had posted that we had talked about that, right? When we were discussing what to get to the club.
hmm.
Um, Way of the Peaceful Warrior. I have liked his series and have kept up with till the latest one.
Actually, a week back, I started reading Bhairappa's book, Sion.
Okay, okay.
S.L.
I started
Bhairappa.
Avarna Bhairappa.
Avarna? Oh, yeah. Sion, and then the discussion came that you're going to share this. I said, let me do this now. This is there. It's in between I read that, but this is my morning read when I get up. So this is my first morning read I do. So many authors have written about Sita. There's something a very more this present day's author. What's his name? Amish something.
Amish, yeah.
He,
Amish. He has written about Ram, Sita, and Ravan, I guess. Yeah.
I think Sita, he has shown a warrior queen.
Warrior Queen, yes.
Warrior queen, where the cover of the page only is showing where the Sita is like something like a pose where she's killing a demon, which is very, very lot of controversial happened on that. Lot of other, senior.
Here also she does say that she was a martial arts warrior.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Hmm.
Anj, what do you say? You're
And
there.
you get
Anj?
bored.
No, I think
Oh.
Ramayan and Mahabharata is favorite of every. Yes, Ansh.
Yeah, Mahabharata is also my favorite.
Are you reading any book on Mahabharata? Or have you read
No,
already?
I've already read.
Which
Which
book?
one have you read?
It's I forgot its name, but it's from the library I've started. It's something like it's only Mahabharata.
Ruchika, you can maybe if Ansh you want to read about Ramayana Mahabharata or something, then maybe Ruchika you can suggest him some
Yeah,
series like
sure,
I was
sure,
just
sure.
seeing Ki Amar Chitra Katha has a book like
Yes.
long series of it.
Yeah.
So
Actually,
suggest him maybe
mm.
it will
So
be helpful.
if you are interested in reading Amar Chitra Katha, it's a form of a comic. If are you interested in reading comics, Ansh?
Yeah,
Yeah, so maybe you can find out in your library where you borrow the books. You can check if they have Amar Chitra Katha Mahabharat series. So you will find one exclusive book only on Mahabharat, and then you will have multiple books on different characters of Mahabharat, which you can choose like Krishna, Duryodhan, Bhishma, anybody, any Draupadi, anyone you want, any character, because Mahabharat has many, many characters. Na? So I would suggest uh, Amar Chitra Katha is really, really best book to start if you want to start. For even for Ramayana, you will have in that. There is one more book I would suggest. I'm looking for it. It is out of stock. I'll tell you, this is on my Amazon cart I have put, which is suitable for anybody. Maybe I'll put it on Discord. I'll put it right away. So that is again, it's again Mahabharat. God, I think it's not available. I've been trying to get that book from a very, very long time. So that's a story of Mahabharat from a child's view. How the child sees Mahabharat. I'll put it right. So this is also one very interesting book to be read. I read half of it. From one of my friends' daughter, she had that, and I've shared it on Discord.
Yeah.
So it's not available. Okay, so what are we doing next week?
Next week, give me a second. I forgot. It's
Before that,
right? First week of year, right? July. So
Hmm,
it will be philosophy or spiritual book.
I think Reshma's thing, right?
Reshma.
Share blog, article, comics, illustrations. No. Rekha. It's
Yeah.
4th July is share blog, article, comics,
Comics,
illustrations,
jokes.
jokes, puzzles, or any other format. Yeah, so this was a mix of every first week of every month is about mix of many things, whatever you feel you read anywhere, even a one paragraph which you read and you really like it, you can post it immediately in Discord, and then from there we pick in Readers Club and we read it out. So, and we can have
Could be about anything.
anything.
It's
This is a
inspired you
very
kind of a thing.
open forum, yeah. And it can be so jokes, puzzles, or any other thing format also, even a small, any poetry, haiku, anything.
Ansh, next week you can bring some comic of yours that you have really liked.
Yeah. Ansh, it's your day on 4th July. हाँ. मैं तो पूरा बुक ही उठा लाऊंगी वो वाला. The horse, the thing, the वाला.
That book, na? The
Yes. That book
Ansha,
takes only 5 minutes to read, but takes lifetime to understand.
Each page you can talk about that for hours together, right?
Yeah. Arey wow, this is
Can I
nice.
tell you a joke?
Ansha, yeah, I have
He's ready
shared.
today only.
Yeah.
It just formed in my head when you said jokes, and then yeah.
Go ahead, Ansh.
Yeah, so a teacher in a school, a teacher asks a student that it's kind of a test, and a teacher asks a student that when did the war of Mahabharat last till? So he was asking that till when, for example, from 1764 to 1741, 1794 or something like that. One student answered that, sir, it lasted from page number 23 to page number 26.
Bring all such jokes next Readers Club, okay, Ansh?
Yeah. Ansh, I have shared something for you. Your mom also replied already. So this is, I've shared a link of Amar Chitra Katha Mahabharat books series. You can check. Others can also check. And this book, if you get it somewhere, please tell me also the Mahabharata, the child's view. I'm really trying hard to get this book.
So also the month of June is ending, and it reminds us to start the courier job.
Yeah, true. I have.
Yeah,
I've started reading
इसलिए
Adi Yogi Rekha, what you gave last time.
okay.
I've just read little, then I kept it aside because that
it requires
that
good
brain.
amount of yes.
So मुझे थोड़ा बीच में लगने लगा कि okay, I think I need another dose of reading before I go further in that.
Yes. As you are going further, you will feel that you have forgotten the previous जो भी हुआ था. I have lost touch with it, kind of.
Yeah, true. So true. So what are you reading, Kirtika, these days? What's your favorite genres you read? Never got a chance to hear from you.
I have been very far away from fiction. I think in college, like I guess 10, 15, 20 years back, I read a bit of fiction here and there. But I have been primarily very inclined towards all geopolitical stuff. And especially the Middle East has always been I guess because like I'd been to Israel once and that country really fascinated me. So the whole, Arab Israel war, all those things have been very fascinating for me. So I've read Israel is Real, which kind of chronicles the entire journey, right from the Roman times to their whole exodus to the rest of the European states, and then coming back to the promised land. It's saying how the whole psyche of a set of people kind of has evolved over the course of all these tragedies or whatever. So that's one thing. Currently, I am reading this book which really hooked on. I wasn't expecting too much from it. It's called Assam the Accord, where it talks about the whole immigration problem uh, that started with the whole Bangladesh Liberation War, where everyone was coming and settling into Assam, and how the locals kind of just give me a moment, someone's at the door. Hello, then I will take your leave and prepare for travel plan. Bye bye, guys.